This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised. We are the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? It's Thursday, and you know what that means.
Does that mean it's second breakfast? Or
I mean,
11sies? Or luncheon? Afternoon tea? Dinner?
probably
Supper?
afternoon tea.
Oh, okay.
Probably afternoon tea.
For me, it's afternoon tea.
Well, it's lunch. Or second breakfast even,
Yeah, it's like a breakfast down here
right?
in the islands.
No, it's podcast day.
Oh.
Yay!
My name is Eddie Lyon, and I asked ChatGPT about 100 men and gorillas, and 100 men win.
That just goes to show you why Chat GPT is wrong. I'll hear you. I'll tell you right now. The first 20 people, light work for the gorilla. Light work, dancing in the entrails. I think around 50 is probably when you start seeing like a tired gorilla, and then around 75 he gets this massive wind where he could probably kill another 50 people easily.
So check this out. This is what ChatGPT told me.
And I read that, and I understand its reasoning. Like, that makes sense.
In a fight between 100 dedicated men and one gorilla, the men would almost certainly win eventually, but at a very high cost in injuries or fatalities. Here's how it breaks down. The gorilla's advantages are extreme strength. A silverback gorilla can lift over 1,000 pounds and exert force much greater than any human. Powerful bite, around 1,300 psi. Durability, thick muscles and skin make it hard to injure without weapons. Aggression and speed, a gorilla can severely injure or kill a human in seconds. The men's advantages are numbers. 100 is an overwhelming advantage, even against a powerful animal. Tactics, even if a few are smart and can coordinate, they can subdue it. And sacrifice, since they won't hesitate, many can restrain it or dogpile it while others attack. The first 10 to 30 men could be killed or maimed before the gorilla is overwhelmed. Once enough bodies are on it, even without weapons, they can grapple, immobilize, and crush the gorilla through sheer mass of weight. If they strategize, swarm from multiple sides, use clothing to entangle limbs, they could minimize casualties. So, 100 determined men would win, but they'd lose a lot of people doing it.
Well, you didn't say anything about determined men. Like, what about undetermined men?
Well, it said that they were like the explanation was that they were 100 dudes that were dedicated to this, that they were like, that wouldn't just see like 10 or 12 motherfuckers die and barehanded.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see the average man try to constrain a silverback gorilla.
Well, one won't.
I would love to see 5. I would love to see 10.
Find me 5 men that would agree to go. Let's kill this fucking gorilla.
And and I saw
bro,
like I saw
5
one of those simulations where they tested it out and were like, see, the men are totally gonna lose. But it was one of those
where the gorilla has like Thanos strength that is like punching him into the air.
No, it wasn't even that. It was the Hollywood movie version where all of the bad guys fight the person who's like in the minority one at a time and patiently wait their turn. Like, that's the wrong way to go at it.
Bro, give me what.
That's not what's going to happen, though, brother. They're not 100 coordinated dudes. We're talking 100 men are going.
100, like 100 of us. Imagine
100 of us. We don't have coordination. We can maybe talk with like 4 or 5 other dudes,
but it's not like
I'm going to go this way, you go that way, and then the gorilla's just going to be like, haha, done.
But it's not like we're just going to get dropped in there with no time to plan. It's not like
once you see something happening, people will go, "Oh, he's about to try and grab that limb. Like, maybe I should help." Like, it's going to turn into coordinated effort based on what's happening at the time. I mean,
bro, give me
if you want to survive, you're going to figure out ways to make that as possible, or as likely as possible.
Bro, give me 10 perk angles and fucking that gorilla's toast, dog.
Did you see I should have sent it to you guys, but there was one of those angry muscle dudes in a truck videos about he was like, I don't need 99 other dudes. I can do it on my own. Fuck him.
I would
And
love to see it. Love to.
oh right.
I would pay to see it.
That
I honest to God,
that
I would pay
shit
to see it
made
at this
me
point.
laugh so hard. Like,
Let's put him in an
okay,
arena. Let's do it. No,
yeah,
really, really. You
let's
really think so?
give it a
Let's do
shot.
it. Let's
Give
do
it a
it.
shot. Give it a shot, dude.
I'll tell you
Watch
what.
that gorilla literally fucking snap you in half.
Right.
When I get home tomorrow night, I will plug this equation into Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, and we'll see what happens.
Right? Right. Fucking I saw one meme where it was Superman or Batman and the gorilla, and it was like it said Harambe whenever it said Martha. Why did you say that name? Why did you say?
I did see one meme that actually was pretty amazing. It said, "What are you guys talking about? Like, it only took one child to defeat Harambe."
Yeah, that's what a guy that was a joke that a guy had at work, and I was like, that's really funny.
Well, technically, it was one guy with a gun, but
Yeah.
the child was used. The child was used. As
All
bait.
it took was a child.
A chosen one.
With
Dude,
me as
imagine.
always.
No, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, imagine like carrying that weight with you, being that kid now.
Oh man.
Just
Right.
Anytime you hear the word Harambe, because it does come up now and then,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
it
Yeah.
regains popularity, and every time you're just like, oh God.
He probably hates that gorilla. He's probably like, I like it was 100% his fault too, right? Like he like fell in the enclosure, so
Yeah,
he probably has like PTSD, and he's like, fuck that gorilla.
He's like, man, I wish
Glad
that
he
gorilla
died.
would have. I wish it would have killed me, man.
and everybody else is just like, no man, fuck you. You got to
Yeah.
be killed.
Right.
It should have been you.
It should have been you.
It's gonna be me.
It already is.
Yeah.
With me as always is Derek Reese.
I'm basically an honorary Hobbit. I mean, I'm short, I'm hairy, I got hairy feet even. So
I've
this
seen
is
him.
like, yeah, I'm pretty sure most people have that know me personally anyway. Plus, on the internet.
All
I
right,
gotta
foot
make that.
check.
I gotta.
Foot
I
check.
gotta. I gotta make that money.
Right.
Foot check
Nick-
up in the camera right now.
I can't. I can't stretch like that.
Nick
I'm
Lewis.
way too old.
I was thinking about this after we landed and we were getting off the plane with like God knows how many other tourists coming here. I mean, a lot of people were people flying home, but I couldn't help but wonder if like the locals see planes land and they just look up and just go, "Oh my God, dude, here come the whites.
Here they come.
Here come the whites."
Cole
And
Simper.
I'm
The Lord of the Rings, more like the Board of the Rings. Come on,
Uh-oh.
guys.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Uh-oh.
How dare you?
kick him out. Kick him out.
Here
Kick him
it
out.
comes.
Uh-oh.
Here comes.
Kick him out.
Uh-oh.
Here comes hot take Simper.
And special guest today, my good friend since we were yay high, Filmore McLaurin. Say hello to the people.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you. One does not simply guest star in a nerd corporation.
That's right. That's right.
And we are the Nerd Corporation. Welcome to episode 215. One does not simply watch the theatrical version. We're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings, Part 1, Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, no.
The way that these things go, we talk about the cast, we talk about the movie, we run some special fun trivia, and, whatever ensues.
So this time we're actually sitting down. We're watching the full extended cut on record, and then we'll do a podcast about it.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
buckle up, bitches. But first, let's get on with some nerd news. Um, we usually just jump into the subject, but there has been so much shit going on that we kind of need to cover it.
Yo,
Cole, you called it.
I did.
GTA 6 delayed
Oh, yeah.
until next year, directly next year.
That was the
Pretty much.
craziest part, dude. Is like I saw the date and like at first it didn't really register to me. It was like, oh, May 26th, whatever, fuck, the big thing that was like, oh, it's 2026. So I was like, oh, okay. And then it sunk in. I'm like, holy fuck, that's more than a year away.
Mm.
Which I saw this post on Twitter where it was like it was Red Dead. It was Red Dead 2, where it was like the original release date and then the second release date and then the third release date. And it's like, and I hope that it's not going to be that. I think that's the reason behind the year long, like, hey, it's going to take us another year.
Mhm.
But what's crazy to me is this bitch has been done for a while, bro. This bitch has been done for a long time. And I think like the last 2.5 and going to be 3 years of this last little bit of process is just polish, is just making sure that fucking thing runs, because I gotta imagine it is system on top of system on top of system to the point where it probably didn't run very well, and I would
Yeah,
imagine
and I
that.
mean
Go
that's
ahead.
that's kind of in the statement they released, but of course, you always take
So
that with a grain of salt too. So you're like, well, is it really polished? Because if they say if this is gonna take this long and it comes out and it's still not polished.
another thing too that I want to like get out there is because I've just been thinking about this a lot, is like the power behind a rock star statement, like the power of like, yeah, we're not only have we spent, and publishers and developers have been in limbo this entire year and part of the ending of last year because they want to let you know when their fucking game is coming out, but they couldn't because they didn't want to release in the same week as Grand Theft Auto 6 because you were going to get fucking demolished. Like, and it
Right,
wasn't even, no one's going to fucking buy that game. They're going to
right.
spend their schmeckles, their 80 schmeckles, because that game's going to be more now, you know, uh, given
And
Nintendo
also,
and Microsoft. But go ahead. Sorry.
no, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying I found it kind of interesting that Randy Pitchford, a day before this was announced, said that the Borderlands 4 release date had nothing to do with any other game specifically coming out around that time.
You lying ass motherfucker. Shut up, Randy Pitchford, you fucking weird bitch.
Dude,
Yeah, see, that's Cole's favorite person right now.
every game coming out Q4 this year is going, ah!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They can breathe now. They legitimately can
Mhm.
put air back in their lungs instead of holding it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's some bad shit, man. But I
Like,
mean now,
what's okay?
yeah.
And games that we're planning on trying to release spring of next year is like, well,
And the other thing is that, well, yeah, I mean that's now, well, that's the thing, is like it's a blessing and a curse. It's a curse for us, but it's a blessing for like other publishers because now they know. They're like, okay,
Yeah.
next May is off the table. We can't have anything fucking even near next May.
Right. It's
But
it's it's a like, hey, watch out for May. Don't
it's
don't
it's
don't
ours.
fucking do that. Don't fucking do that in May.
It's
Yeah, like,
Walter White at the end of season 3. Don't fucking try. Okay.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But and we all know the real reason why it got delayed. It's because they couldn't compete against Expedition 33 for Game of the Year. So
Good golly. Good. And I was gonna talk about that.
yeah.
Expedition fucking 33. What a great segue. Good God. I'm not a big JRPG guy at all.
Mhm.
And I'm even less a turn-based guy, but this game has me by the nuts.
Hang on there, brother. It's not a JRPG. It's an FRPG.
Oh,
Yeah, you idiot.
oh,
Because it was
really?
made in France.
Oh, was it?
It's a
Oh,
French developer. It's really cool. I listened to an interview with the main guy, and
well, la di
such a
da,
passion,
Mr. Frenchman.
such a passionate dude, like really truly. And Fillmore, have you had any desire to play this game at all?
I'm very interested in it, but I have so much on my plate right now. Not even in terms of video games. There's like so many games I want to either play or replay. Games
Yeah.
I've started and I've just fell off.
Uh,
But that is definitely on my list. I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. They call this Final Fantasy
yeah,
or something
yeah,
along that line.
yeah. Hell yeah.
And plus, it has some actors that like Charlie Cox and
Yeah.
Ben Starr. Main character from Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
So I
dude.
am very interested in the mechanics of this game and the story.
Bad boy Daredevil can act his ass off. I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Eddie,
That's the only damper about me being where I am right now is I can't play that game.
so how far are all of we?
I just left the Jestro village.
Oh, bro. Oh, brother. Please keep playing at least till the end of the day.
I mean, it
Oh,
sounds like he was done with the game. He kind of hates it, didn't you hear?
Yeah, fuck
well,
this game. I'm done with it.
that's not what I mean today.
No, I know.
I mean today. Like I gotta have your reaction because the end you're creeping up on the end of Act 1.
Okay.
And I've been told that it's quite a short game, like for an RPG, but
Mhm.
it sounds like kind of a sweet spot for me where it's like a 30-hour RPG is pretty
That's
rad.
good.
Yeah, so it's like that's totally digestible. And the way that the game eventually I'm going to get to the point where I can like really fluidly talk about this game, but I don't want to I don't want to just sit here and ramble off like the same fucking thing that literally everyone else has said. It's a French team. It was made by 30 people. The composer's a SoundCloud guy. Like there's like all these like little like bulletin points about the game, but it's only about the game like the first like hour of the game. Like that's like the only like praise online, not from you guys, like online that I'm seeing is like the first like that intro section, and I'm like, okay, guys, it's been out for like a week and a half now. Play more of the game. It's
Yeah.
really fucking good. Like
Yeah.
the opening was great, but like there's more game here, guys. Come on,
So like it's all just first impressions and
it's
that's
all
about
well.
it.
It's the problem is, Derek, is that it is specifically like engagement baiting,
Oh, sure.
and like when you unfortunately when you see it like almost every post on Twitter is like that now. And
Yeah.
even if it isn't, I'm gonna believe that it is because it's all just engagement farming to get you to type something like oh, even if it's not even negative, like if even if it's positive, like we just want eyes, we want clicks, we want
Mhm.
comments, we want all this shit. And it's like, and so now it's just, instead of shitting on the game, we are like just blowing the game, which it deserves, bro. It's honest to God, now that Grand Theft Auto's gone, we might be realistically talking about legit game of the year contenders. You know what I mean? And Expedition 33 is one of them. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people that like there's a lot of like people on Twitter that love to like, try and get that money, that $100 a month for pissing people off, or you know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. It's just in the other direction where it's like we're just blowing this game, and but it's like play more. Like
Yeah,
I want to
for
see more
real.
content of like further like past the first 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
Right.
Dude, I've been trying to get that money for like the past 4 years now.
Hey Nick, so is this because I've not looked into it. I plan on looking at it and playing it, but is this on PlayStation? Is this computer
Yeah.
only?
I think it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's on Game
Okay.
Pass.
Yeah, it's free on
Okay.
Game Pass.
Well, is it okay? So Nick, did you purchase that game?
I did not.
Damn.
One thing
But
also,
you could.
I mean, maybe we'll
one
see.
thing also is it's a it's only $50. It's not even a full
Wow.
price game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is rad as fuck. And I know that doesn't, a lot of most of the people that are going to play this game are gonna play it on Game Pass, which is, I hope that it in turn advocates for the purchase of the game, not just the playing of the game. And I'm not going to sit here and be that douche that's, like support the developers, because, you do you. Your money is your money, especially in this time. Like it is.
Yeah, like we'll see how my paycheck goes and
Of
go
course.
from
Like
there.
I can't imagine a game being more worth $50 in my like there are clear like moments of like jank, like the character animations are not as smooth as you would say a triple A game is, but like god
Dude,
damn,
for what it is, this game is beautiful. For what it is.
everything else, bro, everything else is so fucking magical. Like the music is really good. I'm not even going to sit here and say like it's like, I don't have any criticisms or anything like that. Like I'm sure I can find an OST that I like more, but god damn, there's some bangers on here. And that gameplay is sublime. It is like it's their first outing, bro. Their first game, and they make a turn-based system like this that like, and I that's another bulletin point is like, oh, it's rivaling Final Fantasy. Like it's, step aside Final Fantasy
I
and
wouldn't say all
Persona.
that. Yeah.
And it's like, why can't, it's like J. Cole, like what J. Cole said, why can't two legends exist at the same time? I
Right.
don't
Yeah, I
understand.
mean, but at the same time, like the fact that that's a comparison being made on their first game is a
Such a
pretty fucking
massive compliment.
huge deal. Yeah.
Such a massive compliment. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And they're sitting at 1 million sold right now, which is astronomical for a fucking brand new game, dude. That fast in 3 days, dog. 3 days. I'm really happy and seeing these guys like, I don't give a fuck about France or anything like that. I just think it's really cool to see such passionate developers, bro. Like it's so cool to see, and really like really kind of fuels the hobby for me. You know what I mean? We've had some real dog shit fucking things happen in the last couple years with gaming, and every once in a while there's a gem that just kind of like that just illuminates this dark shit that we have to wade through.
And these are ex Ubisoft developers, right?
I mean, Eddie is. I like Ubisoft games. I mean, they're fine. I can't see myself putting more than like, you know what I mean? Was that your question? I'm sorry.
No, this game was developed by ex Ubisoft developers.
Oh, yeah. It was, yeah. Which makes sense, man. There's artistry everywhere, and speaking on that point, you can tell because like I just feel like they were probably like just locked down making fucking some annual release that they have, and they're like, I want to go make something else, but we can't. We're stuck here making fucking Assassin's Creed, but which is, and there's a reason, there's a, I don't mean to poo-poo Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft. It's clear. Like this is what happens when they were just like under so much creative pressure, and then they get out and it's like their first game, their first outing. Such a cool experience, man. Play this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Our last piece of news is more of a talking point. At the time of this recording, there have only been 3 episodes of The Last of Us season 2 released.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
I'm putting 20 minutes on the clock.
So you know it's going to go way over that. The first piece of news transcended into Expedition, and it's 1:37 for me right now.
Yeah, but I mean, technically, once it switched over, that was the second piece of news.
Right. So here we go. So I just barely, as of the time of this recording, yesterday watched both of the current episodes. I watched episode 2 and I watched episode 3 together. Episode 2, apart from the moment, spoiler alert, where Joel gets killed, apart from that moment, I didn't care about nothing else in the episode. It was Joel dying and then the rest of the episode.
The set piece that cost millions and millions and millions. Yeah.
Like I feel like they put all of the emotional stock into that moment because it was good.
Yeah, I mean that's supposed to be the focal point, so I get, that makes sense, I guess. But
Well, right, but I mean, I want the whole episode. I want that whole thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
of
it,
course.
and if you're gonna have this crazy fucking like all the zombies die thing, like all the zombies come out or all the infected, whatever they're called, like I want to feel about that too. But like it to me, it all just felt like, okay, so when they're gonna kill Joel,
Mm.
and I was just like,
That's
I
why
should.
we should try and get the opinion of somebody that like
I was
hasn't
Yeah.
played the games already,
Yeah,
because
because I was
that's
gonna say, like, you're like that could be part of the reason that you felt that way is because you already know and are waiting for that
Yeah.
point, and so everything else you're just like, whatever, whatever, whatever. Let's get to Joel.
Yeah.
So I mean
What
that
are they
could
gonna do? How are they gonna
taint
fuck
it a
her?
little bit. Yeah, that
pers-
could
per-
taint it a little, but
personally, I mean, I enjoyed the episode because it I enjoyed the breach of Jackson. I mean, it felt like Game of Thrones to me,
Hmm.
but I still enjoyed it. The aftermath of that was kind of like a not as emotional, but it was just like, dude, all these people just died despite how prepared they were, like
And
um
that was also like a small nitpick of mine. I was like, for how fortified this fucking place is, like they ran into that bitch pretty fucking quick.
Hmm.
I only have watched episode one so far, just because, I've been waiting for Misty and we've just had all these other things going on, but I don't want to watch it without her. So you're telling me Joel dies?
Yeah.
Um,
yeah,
no,
dude.
but so yeah, I'm behind, but I'll
You
catch
don't
up.
mind
I'll
if
get
we
I'll catch
we
up.
talk on it though, right?
I mean, no, because again,
There's
I
not
mean,
really a whole
granted,
lot, and
We
we're kind of
like
dancing around the
unless there's
changes
any,
too.
yeah, I was gonna say unless there's any serious deviation, like maybe, dance
I don't
around
know.
that, but
That's my biggest problem is the
Mm.
deviation into. It's
Yes.
just like it like completely dissolves all motivation for a specific character. Like I don't know why he would even, other than the fact that it's like, the obvious reason, but it just like it there's a reason why that character was in that room when it happened. And when it doesn't, these are
Yeah.
not bad changes. They're not like they're entertaining. Like this big set piece at the end of or it in the middle of episode 2 is very exciting and it's fun. And I do have an outside witness. I have my dad. I know it's anecdotal, but my dad is loving it. He's loving this shit. Like, and he's like, he texted me when he got to the end of episode 2. He's like, they fucking killed Joel. What do you mean? And I asked him, I was like, we like talked about it for a second. I was like, are you still going to continue watching? And he said, of course. He's like, I like it.
and
You
did
know,
I mention this or no? I mentioned this in chat, I think, but Misty got spoiled on it, actually,
Oh,
and because
yeah, you did. You
I
said.
one of
yeah,
us.
she got spoiled on it. I Yeah, it was some Facebook post where somebody was, railing about Joel dying because, again, and it's so entertaining, I think, to see all of the normies who don't
Hmm.
play video games going through the same thing that everybody that played the video games went through
Yes.
when the video games came out. Like it's really
It
funny, but she was
is.
go ahead, Fillmore.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's very
Oh no.
red wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
it was
like,
it was just too funny that she was so distraught and was like, "What? No!" But anyway,
I
like
don't
if you're
know.
if you're watching a show like this on HBO, um, people are
you got
gonna
to keep
die.
up.
Like
Well,
people are
that
going
too.
to die.
Yeah.
Like just get used to it. Like
Well, and I do think that there's something to that. To your point earlier, Derek, about like we already know what's going to happen. So like we are kind of I was expecting those like because the first season did this thing where, and I know y'all can clown on me because I didn't watch the whole fucking season or whatever, but I did watch half of it, and I saw that like the changes that they made, some of them were kind of drastic, but they made sense in the purpose of the story and adapting it into a TV show instead of a video game. First of all, I don't think there was, for fucking weirdos like me that like obsess over the video game and like don't really fuck with that style of adaptation, I guess. Like we're never going to be satisfied. We're never going to be like, in terms of like, cause I do think that like The Last of Us Part 2 is such a metaphorical game. Is that a word? Like it's so dense with metaphor to the point where it's almost beating you over the fucking head with it. And a great deal of the heavy lifting is the fact that you're playing this. It is interactive. You are pushing these buttons when that blood red atmosphere is soaking Ellie's face and she's staring at fucking Nora, and all of a sudden that square button comes up. You didn't want to fucking press that button because you knew what the fuck was going to happen. But the game makes you feel that. And I don't know. And of course, this is the other thing too, is that this is it's an incomplete piece of art, right? We don't have all the pieces. We haven't seen how the fucking season ends. We don't know. I could just be a big old baby just crying about these changes when it's really not that, and of course it's really not that big of a deal. But it could be all for naught. It could be. But I
see your point though. Like how do you translate something so visceral that you are directly interacting with like a video game, and you're the one killing all of these people as the hero and like, oh, I'm this good person, and then that's flipped on its head and now you have to wrestle with that. Like, how do you that's impossible to
the changes with Abby
so well.
The changes with Abby are really,
they're bad. No, they're bad. No, they're bad. They're bad. Like I'm not even gonna like, don't dance around it. That shit sucks.
Yeah, it does, because again, in the game, when you first encounter Abby and her crew, you don't know who they are, you don't know what their motivations are. So up to the point where Joel saves her, brings her back to her cabin, then the camera pans on her. She has a shotgun in her hand. He blows his knee off. You're like, what the hell? So in the show, when they introduce her and they automatically say that she lost, all those soldiers and her dad.
Scene one. In scene one.
It's like, again, I don't think that was Neil. I think that was Craig. That's why I'm like, God damn it, Craig. Why? Why did you make that change? Yeah. Because it's so much more impactful in the game when you don't know who she is and it's catching you off guard when Joel,
it's a huge, like, what the fuck? Yeah. So I can agree with that. I mean, I didn't mind it personally, but I absolutely see that point.
That one I feel, that one I lean left and like back and forth with, because it while that's true, it's also not that big of a deal.
Another thing is like, it's like I said, it almost is kind of betraying that metaphor. It's betraying that, like, and again, I can't speak to like like, is this really a severe problem, or is it just something I'm hung up on? I totally, I'm at the point now where I can I can agree that I'm a little unhinged with this shit. I'm
a little.
Dude, that game is so fucking important to me that it's like, well, that's not what that's about. What the fuck? Like now I'm thinking like, okay, what's the other big change that they're gonna make with the game, or make with the show, that they didn't do with the game? And I think this is my hope, because I think it would be a little bit better, the idea of going on a killing spree from Wyoming to Seattle is already in itself super unrealistic, right? We're in video game territory where that shit wouldn't happen unless you could die and come back magically. You know what I mean? So I think what they could do, and what would help a lot to add to that believability of this suicide mission, because that's essentially what it is, bro. And in the game they're insane because they just let her go. but there was also another fucking reason why Ellie had to go.
Connie.
Wasn't there? So it's like character motivations are kind of everything for a very character driven story, and when these character motivations are skewed and not believable at all, I don't know. Abby in TV seems kind of unhinged, and like I didn't like how much, slight spoiler I guess, I'm sorry Derek, but like I didn't like how much the crew was like, whoa,
Yeah,
what are
yeah.
you doing? What, like
yeah.
every single fucking member of the crew, of the Salt Lake crew, was like, whoa, you can't, like, just what are we
They
doing?
weren't on board. Yeah.
Like even to the point where like they don't even want to kill him anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm like, uh, what?
Yeah, I
What?
mean that doesn't make sense based on the fact that like he killed all their families too. Like,
Yeah.
that's
The
They
only
yeah.
fucking person in the game that was upset with this scene was Owen.
Yeah.
It was the only person that was like, hey, finish it the fuck up. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Every single one. Manny fucking spit on him and called him an asshole in Spanish. What's his name? Manny kicked the fucking, or not Manny, Jordan kicked the shit out of Ellie. Like beat her like senselessly, ruthlessly. Like definitely broke a rib or two. Like these were evil fucking people, bro. Like, and I understand that like the second half of The Last of Us Part 2 is supposed to empathize with these people, but the game did a much better job because they are ruthless fucking killers, the same way Joel was, the same way
yeah, the
Ellie
same way
turns out
anyone
to
is
be.
in this world.
Yeah. And man, I'm really fucking butthurt with what they're doing with that specific character, because it really just it really fucks everything. And I haven't watched episode 3, so I don't really know.
Oh, that's gonna piss you off.
I can't, dude, because it's if I watch that episode and that character doesn't do what he does in the game, I'm full on fucking out. I am full on fucking out. What's the point?
Just stay out. Then just stay.
Jackson is in flames. And you're what? The fuck, man? Come on, bro. And it's just like it was just like an excuse to have this Game of Thrones fucking CGI money fuck fest, where it's like, oh yeah, just throw all the money, get the bloater in full CGI on the screen. Yeah, that looks cool. Thousands of faceless fucking zombies. Just, the only cool thing I will admit about the zombies, I liked how they just full on ran like right into the like the barricade. I thought that shit was cool. Other than that, get that shit the fuck out of my Last of Us. This is not Last of Us. You are removing the core things that make The Last of Us The Last of Us.
Right.
And Filmore, exactly what you said. That is a Craig thing. That is a fucking Craig thing. Like, but the only thing is I worry about bleeding through, where if we do get a Last of Us Part 3, if I get a fucking zombie siege set piece in that fucking game, fuck you, Craig. Cause that's
I think it's a Craig thing, but the same thing, it might have been an abandoned idea from Neil. He might have mentioned it to Craig, and Craig was like, okay, let's do that for the show.
I don't want to believe that Neil had anything to do with these changes, because it completely deflates the entire purpose and reason behind The Last of Us Part 2.
But it also sounds like Neil could be persuaded.
Say that again.
Go ahead.
It kind of sounds like Neil could be persuaded on certain ideas. Like, for instance, certain things that work in the game don't necessarily work in the show, and vice versa.
I just hope our boy isn't getting too Hollywood. That's all. That's all.
I'll tell you one thing that I'm not a fan of. Because the game goes into this as not a motivation for Abby, but I guess a motivation for her to become the way she was. Like, the whole reason Abby was so super jacked is because she knew she would have to be in order to take Joel on, and they just
obsession.
completely abandoned that. I mean, granted, like, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a point where you may have to make some concessions and go, well, this person is the best actor for the job, for the way we want this portrayed, so we're going to roll with this, even though it's not the physical look we were hoping for. It could be something like that. I don't know, but
so I can see what you're saying, but with the amount of importance that was put into Abby being the way that she was, with the importance of being like, hey, this is what Abby looks like, this is why she looks this way,
Mhm.
and this is why she's motivated enough to be this way.
Mhm.
It's starting arguments online and fucking vitriol and all the
Which
shit
is
that is starting.
hilarious because people were super mad about how jacked she was in the game to begin with.
Yeah.
And now everybody's like, wait, she's not?
Well, right,
Well,
but I'm saying
yeah.
like because of all of that,
Someone tell me how I should feel.
right? Like I feel like that spits in the face of all that they did for Abby in the game, for
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
they, you know what I'm saying? Like because now they're like, oh, we don't want, like, who knows if they were like, oh, we don't want her jacked because people are gonna talk shit just like how they talk
Yeah.
shit in the game, you know. But that was like the
True.
whole reason for it to be as important as it was.
You
Yeah.
know what's
Yeah.
funny? Sorry, go ahead, Fillmore.
No, what I was going to say is, her being jacked also led to the distance between her and Owen in the game. Owen
Yeah.
drifted off and messed around with Mel, who in this
Mhm.
version doesn't seem to be pregnant, at least not yet, because what
Yeah.
happens
What
later on in
and
the
what? Like
game,
a
spoiler,
critical piece of information.
yeah,
Yeah.
because like he's with Mel while Abby is off on her own, but then they kind of come back together only for Ellie to end up killing both Mel and Owen.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, sorry.
Well, dude,
We've all played the game.
if
Yeah,
you
well,
haven't
for
played The
those who's
Last of Us
watching that
Part
have not
Two,
played,
oh yeah, yeah. If you haven't played Part Two, fuck you, first of all.
yeah.
But
Well, I mean, there are people that are non-gamers, such as my parents, who are enjoying the show.
yeah,
And when I mentioned to them this is based on a video game, like, really? What?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. I know, I get it. I'm hard on this shit, but it feels like you don't understand. And of course, this is coming from somebody who didn't make the game, didn't make anything related to the game. So I'm just the weirdo pointing fingers, but it doesn't feel like you understand why your game is so great. The reason why Abby was so fucking big is the one word: obsession. She was
Mhm.
obsessed. That's what the game, that's like half of what the game is about, is obsession, is obsessing over these things. Ellie couldn't subside. She had a perfect fucking world. She literally had a perfect world. This woman saved or left her alive twice. And she went and lived, like, she moved in a house in an idyllic place. They had everything. They had JJ. She gave it all up because she was obsessed with this shit. She can't let it go. And the same thing happened with Abby. Same thing happened with Abby and Owen. Dude, there's so many fucking connections that you could make where it's like, oh, this is just a mirror. This is a mirror that's
Yeah.
facing Jackson and Seattle, where these are people, they're shitty people. They're not good people at all, but they have people that they care about. And at the end of this game, it's so fucking bold, man. They end up with nothing. They all like they really, the game really truly, like, even to the point where it doesn't I was going to say it kind of feels like they're holding your hand through all this desolation, but don't. They don't hold your hand. There is no comfort in this world, like hardly at all. And but except for the little pieces of light, Lev, Ellie, Dina, you know what I mean? Like there's purpose and reason behind everything in this game. And when I don't see the same love and care being put into the show the same way that, like, I don't know, like an inclusion, a cameo from the bloater is not what I want. Like, if you're trying to appease the fans, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. Like, I think the set piece that's going to happen probably later on in the season with Joel and Ellie during the flashback in that hotel, that bloater fight, I think that's going to be cool because it's going to be contained and small, and, like, there's going to be a lot of emotion and drama you can get off of, like, just this 3-person fight, whereas there's thousands of zombies that I I don't know.
if they even do it, because who's to say they haven't, blown their budget already? Because this
I don't know
season was
about
like 7 episodes.
I feel like they wouldn't have done it if that was going to be like
this
their
is
budget
HBO,
for the
bro.
season. I don't feel like they would have done it that early. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But
they got moolah. That first season did really well, so
Yeah,
they've got the cashola to do this shit.
Okay, we've seen stalkers, we've seen clickers, we've seen a bloater. Are we going to see shamblers?
I sure hope so.
I
So
mean,
that would be the
we
first
better.
introduction of Shamblers is Ellie Day One
The tunnel, right? The train tunnel.
in the train tunnel. Well, is it in the tunnel? I know it's underground, but it's like this weird area where, oh fuck, what would you call that? Because it's like a workstation. There's like, there's like a break room that you go into. Remember, there's a code on the door, and the way that you find out the code is the can in the vending machine.
It
It's
might be
like
a
it's
bank.
right around that time of the game where I don't know if that it is underground. That's going to be so cool. Like, if there's one thing that this thing is like doing right, is there's a lot of like the cinematography of the game
Oh,
is
gorgeous.
pretty well captured. Like that,
Yeah.
I really, despite Bella Ramsey being there, I really liked that the dancing scene. Like, I thought it was so cool how they like
Yeah,
perfectly recreated that shit, bro. So sick, so
beat for
rad.
beat.
And like, even to the point where they're using Crooked Stills Ecstasy in the back, and I'm like, dude, I get goosebumps every time I hear that fucking song, man. That banjo starts playing, and I'm like, god damn, tears well up in my eyes. It's such a The Last of Us Part 2 is so special, man. It's so fucking good.
And
I'm
Gustavo was there
sorry.
too.
Say that again. Sorry.
Gustavo.
Oh yeah, Gustavo Santaolalla. I loved his little his cameo in that first episode. Yeah, that was rad. I can only imagine that the scene where you're talking about Fillmore in the subway, where there's like, it's that bright red, right?
Yes.
And there's spores everywhere. God, so fucking dope, dude. Such like
Hmm.
cool area design, and then the flashlights like going through the red and the
Yes.
spores like from the
Mhm.
WLF. So
That's the next episode. That is the next episode. I saw the
that's
preview,
yeah.
and they're also going to do a backstory on Isaac, which I'm looking forward to because we only got him like 2 scenes in the game.
Hell yeah.
I hope it's good.
I
I like
love that
Isaac.
shit. I love
Hmm.
that shit because like, there's stuff that they wanted to put in the game, but we're like, well, we don't have the time. We've like
Right, right.
this thing's gonna run way too long. We gotta cut,
Yeah.
we can't add things that we want to, so whatever. But and it's really fun that now they can go, hey, we can totally do this.
Right, right.
let
Well,
me let me ask you one last question, and then we can end it. It's a real quick question.
mm,
In 4 years, 3 years, whenever we get that last season, that last finale, do you think Ellie kills Abby?
yes, I think she will.
Uh,
I
I'm
think I
gonna
think
say no.
I'm gonna say no too.
I'm gonna say no only because the way part two ends, like she had the chance to kill her, but then she remembers Joel's memory, and it stops her from killing her. And I think part three, more people will realize that Ellie is the cure to the virus, and they will actually find a doctor that can do something about that. And Ellie probably has the opportunity to sacrifice herself for the greater good.
How cool would it be if they just didn't? They're just like, fuck it,
I
fuck you guys. You don't deserve a part three after
like
what
if there's
you did to us in 2020 for part two. Fuck you. You're never getting a part three.
if there is a part three, I mean, I would like it to be, sort of at least toward the end. Obviously you can't have the whole game like this, but like I want them to all sort of be coming to terms with letting go of this desperate need for revenge on anyone who does you wrong,
Yep.
and then of course, I think it would be cool for like even after, like once all of that is resolved and people are like finally going, we need to chill the fuck out. I still want someone to die. Like you can't just,
Yeah.
everything can't be smiles and hearts forever. So
if
Well,
they
The Last of Us, Tokyo Drift.
um if they if they keep fucking it up, right? Like if they keep deviating and they keep adding new shit and they keep doing things that aren't the game, fan service is kill Abby.
Mm.
oh man, that would be like a
Well, they've got to like add certain things here and there for people that haven't played the game because there's not enough time in an hour episode to give you all the information you got from playing like an hour of the game or something like that. Like
Mhm.
they've got to sprinkle stuff in here and there. They got to give,
Yeah.
backstories and stuff like that for characters that, like, when we hear Eugene, we're like, oh yeah, he's the guy that, had the weed farm in the gas
Mhm.
station. But like they don't know that. People that watch the show don't know that. So
I think it would be fun to have like a twist where everybody's buried the hatchet and something happens and Abby's in trouble and Ellie is trying to save her and she dies anyway. I think that'd be great.
I want to see Joel come back as a infected.
Well, that's the kind of the funny thing, and like why I don't want to, like, because it is a spoiler in itself, but I don't want to tell people like don't cry about Joel being gone, because you literally have like an entire season worth of fucking
Yeah.
you have all the
Flashbacks
flashbacks, you
and
have all the, like, it's not, Joel's not like missing from part two. He's
Yeah,
just
like he's just
he's
gonna.
just misplaced.
I
But
mean, the marketing for the game did mislead us into thinking that Joel was going to be a
yeah.
part of Ellie's journey, but I
they
wasn't
did,
mad at that.
and good lord, did people not fucking forget about that? Holy shit.
Mhm.
Naughty Dog lied. They lied. Oh
Marvel
my
lies all the time.
god.
Yeah, true, true.
I mean, they also lied about not being able to play as Ellie in the first game. Are y'all
Yeah.
mad about that? I don't know. It's just fucking weird. I genuinely do believe that, like, there are two possible prongs of what would have happened if the game didn't leak, right? There's obviously the
Mhm.
one where it did leak and everyone acted like assholes, but
Yeah.
also that other path, that possible beautiful path where nobody got spoiled and everyone could have just experienced the story the way it was. A lot of people
Mhm.
still wouldn't have got it, because a lot of people are still fucking infantile and they just want to jump on Goombas all fucking day.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, there are a lot of people that refuse to play this game because they got spoiled ahead of time. Like Tyrone Magnus, for instance, he said he will never ever play this game, and he's just butthurt over the decision to kill Joel. Joel had to die eventually. Now it was a shocker that he died so early, but he was going to die either way. There was going to be consequences for his actions at the end of the first game, you know, and that's just part of the story. It's a great story, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, even if you were spoiled ahead of time, still sit down, play the game, form your own opinion on it. You know, don't let people form opinions for you.
Dude,
I mean,
if
you
they
enjoy it a
had
lot more.
if they hadn't if Joel hadn't died, like, later on in part two, we'd get like what, a 75-year-old Joel. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean within the world of The Last of Us, with how many people Joel has just absolutely ruined. Come on. There's no way that man's living a long, happy, healthy life.
Right.
Like that's ridiculous to expect. Fucking
Right.
ridiculous.
Well, not only that, but like what he did in Salt Lake was like can
reprehensible.
be perceived as nothing other than
Oh
just
yeah.
pure selfishness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't want to, like, and like, I understand it. Like, if it was my daughter, I would tell you probably, I mean, yeah, dude, I get it. Like, I understand. That's the beauty of storytelling and the beauty of like a good voice actor and good story, like a good writer, is you believed it. You were like, you understand in your heart when you end The Last of Us part one, you know that what Joel did was not fucking right, dude. Like, you
Mhm.
Well, I
were
mean,
gunning down all these
they
people.
did one really good important thing that made it, in my mind, like, fuck yeah, these people need to die. Like, there was that audio recording from the doctor that basically said, this doesn't work. We've tried it before, it doesn't work. And so, like, with that recording, you go, holy shit, they're sacrificing her for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
So, like, it really, really makes it such an easy decision to go, no, 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 we need to save her because this is
Yeah.
irrelevant. And,
Of
so like
course.
that helped a big, 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 big time.
So you are exactly correct, Derek. There is an audio log in the book, in the game, that says, yeah, we've tried a lot. We tried, like, because if you remember, they tried a lot on monkeys too. Like, they
Mhm.
there was a bunch of testing going on. And
Mhm.
yeah, you're 100% correct. However, Neil Druckmann has come out and said that it would
Yeah.
have worked. It would
Yeah.
like, and I really wish you wouldn't have said that because it would have been so fucking cool to just leave that up in the air, man, on
I
whether or
Mhm.
not
agree.
it would
I
have come to
agree.
your own conclusion because there's not only that audio log in the first game, but there's several cutscenes in the second game that's like saying like, yeah, we could do this, we can do this, like it can be done, but it's going to kill Ellie, like it will. There's no way for her, so I kind of wish that you had that push and pull by itself because
Yeah.
now we have definitive from God himself where it's like, yeah, it would have cured the world, but Joel didn't care about that.
Yeah.
If it would have cured the world, it wouldn't have cured humanity because like that's another one of the root fucking themes of The Last of Us is that humanity is inherently flawed and we're going to do horrific things to survive in these in really bad situations,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I see these themes like perfectly represented in the second game, and it just feels on brand to me. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
I know I said that I'm struggling to return to part one, and I still kind of am. But oh, there he is. Okay, I thought we lost
Oh
him.
no,
I don't know. I'll stop now. I know that's way over 20 minutes, but I
Told
I
you.
don't know. I don't know, man.
Yo, wrap it up, B.
Wrap it up. It's good shit, and I
So
just
moving on to other news.
I love to see. Yeah, did you see the price hike for the Xbox? Literally,
Let's
literally,
let's
no
not
one's
let's
gonna
not
fucking buy an Xbox ever.
let's not.
Oof.
Since you're watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon. We want to get into as many nerdy ears as possible, and that is the best and freest way to help us do that. We have merch. Redbubble.com/nerdcourt podcast. Get our sayings and logos on everything from shirts to stickers to, I don't know, man, shower curtains, dildos, butt plugs,
Coffee mugs.
Anal
Beach
yeah,
beads.
towels, beach balls,
right? All of it. All
beach
Your
whatever
own
umbrellas,
your own
be-
balls.
whatever
all,
the site.
Temporary
all,
tattoo.
all the beach things.
All the
We've
balls.
all of them.
That too. That too.
We've partnered with Dubby, Dubby.gg, and use our promo code NERDCORP to get 10% off anything site wide. If you love us and want to support what we do, consider supporting us on PayPal, paypal.me/NerdCourt podcast. We want to have the best loot, give you the best giveaways, and give you the best nerdy experience, and that is the best way to do that. So, The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings,
Fellowship of the
Ring,
Ring.
the Ring.
Fucking idiot.
Oh
Fake
no,
ass fan.
I
long
mean there
ass
are
Fake
multiple
ass.
rings.
If y'all do y'all remember that Smeagol Gollum game that came out?
Lord of
Oh
Fucking
Rings.
yeah.
Lord, yeah,
Yeah.
they put out a
I-
statement and they put a fucking typo in their statement that said Lord of Ring.
Lord of Ring Gollum.
So it was directed by Peter Jackson, who was also the director of Dead Alive, The Frighteners, 2005, King Kong, and of course the sequel to the movie we're talking about today.
Shout out to Dead Alive, one of the greatest movies of all time.
It was also written by Peter Jackson. Fran Walsh, who wrote 2005's King Kong, The Frighteners, and Dead Alive, and Philippa Boyens, who also wrote all the same things Fran Walsh did. Uh, Book of the same name was written by J.R.R. Tolkien. Not Token, Tolkien. Um, Movie stars Elijah Wood, who has been in movies like The Adventures of Huck Finn as Huck Finn, Casey and the Faculty, Number 9 and 9, and Spyro in a few of the games.
Don't forget about a classic Elijah Wood movie, The Good Son.
Yeah, The Good
Yes.
Son with Macaulay Culkin. Sean Astin, who's known for his roles as Mikey in The Goonies, Dave in Encino Man, Hercules in the Kingdom Hearts game, Doug in 51st Dates, and of course
What?
Bob in Stranger.
He
What?
played Phil in Kingdom Hearts?
He played Hercules.
Hercules.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
He was Doug in 51st Dates, and of course Bob in Stranger Things.
Doug from 50 First Dates. What a character, man.
That was a funny thing.
That was so good.
His
And that mesh shirt, like, yeah, that was chef's kiss, top it all off for
Have
that
you been
character.
have you been drinking my protein shakes?
Yeah, dude, I like him. I really only see him as Samwise, though. I can't ever see him in anything without thinking like, oh, it's the guy from Lord of the Rings.
Well, see, I mean, I'm sure Eddie is the same, but my first experience with Sean Astin is Encino Man.
Yeah, mine too.
At least in terms of like recognizing him, because obviously, yeah, as a kid he was a Goonie, but like, yeah, as an adult, like that was like my first experience with him, and that was such a great iconic movie of the day that, as soon as I saw him in this, I was like,
Man.
fucking Sean Astin, what?
Yeah.
What movie?
Yeah.
Which one is Encino Man? What happened?
That's the one with
Pauly Shore and Brendan
Brendan
Fraser.
Fraser.
Brendan Fraser is a caveman that they're digging out a pool, and they find this caveman encased in ice.
Okay. I don't know why, but I got that one mixed up with that. What's that porno movie that they made in the early 2000s? Wasn't it a Matt Stone and Trey Parker movie too? Fuck, what was it?
Orgasmo?
Yeah. I
Okay.
get those two movies mixed up all the time.
They're very similar. They're very similar.
I
know. Billy Boyd is Pippin. He is Glenn in The Seed of Chucky, Garmally in The Legend of Vox Machina, and Petrifax in an audiobook series of The Sandman. Dominic Monaghan as Mary, Charlie Pace in Lost, Beaumont in Rise of Skywalker, Hamilton in Angry Birds Mystery Island.
He was also in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Ah, yes.
When we were younger, we used to call him, just because we didn't really know how to pronounce his name, but we called him Dominic Monaghan.
Monaghan.
Because that's how it looks. Monahan!
You smell that pepper? Sir Ian McKellen plays Gandalf. He's known for his roles in.
I fucked Nick up on that.
Dude, out of nowhere, that got me.
Sir Ian McKellen plays Gandalf. He's known for his roles as Magneto in the X-Men. He voiced the Great Intelligence in the 2012 Doctor Who Christmas special. He was also Death in Arnold Schwarzenegger's Last Action Hero. He also did like smaller shit like, King Lear, Gods and Monsters, Macbeth and Hamlet and shit, but that, we're not here for those.
And Da Vinci Code.
Yeah. Orlando Bloom as Legolas. He was Danny Moore in Gran Turismo, Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean, Paris in Troy, and the Duke of Buckyman. Buckyman.
What? Balipki.
And the Duke of Buckingham in 2011's Three Musketeers.
Buckingham sounds like a weird sex position.
The
Bucking Man.
Yep.
Y'all want to do the Bucking Man tonight?
Sean Bean as Boromir. He was Sean Miller in Patriot Games, where he died. Robert Ask in Henry VIII, where he dies.
Alec Trevelyan in 007, where
he dies. Twice. He dies twice. He gets thrown off that satellite, and then part of the falling satellite falls on him to finish him off.
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen is Aragorn. He's known for his role in as Man. That's Man in The Road. Frank Hopkins in Hidalgo, and Laline in Carlito's Way.
Oh, dude, I forgot about Hidalgo, dude.
I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, I totally forgot Hidalgo existed.
So did everybody else.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
History of Violence.
Yeah, History of Violence. That's a good one too.
Oh, that was a really good movie.
Those are like literally the only two movies that I know.
That's a good one.
Juice.
History of violence. That's a good one. I killed my family.
Which is crazy because he is a really good actor.
He's
Oh,
a really
yeah.
great actor. We'll talk about more of the cast in the coming episodes, but I just wanted to get those main
The
ones, the core of the cast.
Man, y'all remember the PS2 Lord of the Ring games?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about those earlier.
Oh,
Like
what
we should get a
gaming.
remaster of Two Towers and Return of the King. I beat Two Towers, but I didn't get very far in Return of the King.
Oh man, I played the
Dude,
hell out of those games.
I played through both of those like many, many times.
For
The
a
Lord,
remaster of Shadow of Mordor.
yeah, we need that for sure. The Fellowship of the Ring is a 2001 epic high fantasy adventure film directed by Peter Jackson from a screenplay by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Jackson. Set in Middle Earth, the story tells of the Dark Lord Sauron, who seeks the One Ring, which contains part of his might to return to power. The ring has found his way into the young hobbit Frodo to the young bleh. The ring has found its way to the young hobbit Frodo Baggins. The fate of Middle Earth hangs in the balance as Frodo and 8 companions begin their perilous journey to Mount Doom in the land of Mordor, the only place where the ring can be destroyed. So how do we feel about this movie?
It's all right.
It's fine.
I mean,
I can take it or leave it.
guess. Yeah, I don't know.
You guys have no souls.
No, I mean, obviously it's an amazing movie. Like, came out because what was it? 19.
2001.
Oh, was it 2001?
2001.
Okay.
Fucking movie came
Yeah.
out when the towers fell, dog.
Like, so, wait, what month in 2001?
September 11th.
December.
So that's what caused it. I knew it was a conspiracy this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, I'm pretty sure I was already back from Korea, and I had come back in like May, I want to say. So like I was already back, and then it came out. So like, man, that was one of the first experiences I got to have after getting back to the US, and like that was just amazing. It was so cool, because the only other thing I'd really been able to see is the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
So like this was wild, and it was just so well done.
Mm-hmm.
I exactly can remember I was a freshman in high school. Um, I had read the first book already. Not even for like an assignment or anything like that, just because, everyone was talking about it. And so I read it, and then later was hearing that, oh, they're making a movie out of it. Like, okay. So like me and my friends went to go see it. I was on crutches because I had just had knee surgery like 2 months before.
Mm-hmm.
And but I was determined to go see this movie. So we go, fucking packed. It was at the movie theater, the Movies 5, which is no longer a movie theater now. But um and I was sat dead in the middle of the aisle, and I had to pee like halfway through this movie, and I was like, there's no chance I'm like getting up without causing a scene because I was on crutches, like.
Yeah.
So I just grinned and bore it. And as soon as the movie let out, I was like, I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go. That's like one of the, and then for the other two movies, me and my friends like camped out in line for like 6 hours, not to get tickets, but just to wait for the movie to start because it was back before they did like arranged seating or whatever. So, but yeah, this movie just kind of, the book and then the movie following the book sent me just into this like wonderment of this universe and just there's not a bad thing I don't think I can say about this movie. I mean, the score, obviously the score like is incredible. Cinematography, like the shots of people, you know, and I know we're not doing trivia yet, but little fun fact, when they show the hobbits running with like the panned out camera, they're actually having little kids run.
Mm.
I believe it.
But yeah, so all of that, the Easter eggs that they left in the movie, which we'll get to, but just yeah, there's not a bad taste in my mouth from this movie like at all. And I
Yeah, no,
own
dude, the music is goaded for sure.
yeah, I still own the extended edition DVDs that were like those. I don't know how much those set me back when they came out, but I went broke getting all three of them.
Nick, do you have the audio commentary too? Like,
I
did it include
think it.
those?
I don't know. I haven't watched those specific DVDs for
Because
years, but
I've
Yes,
heard they're wild.
yes, if I remember correctly, they do because I was gifted Fellowship of the Ring extended version in 2002 by my cousin, and that
Oh
was
yeah.
actually my first experience with Lord of the Rings. And I remember at one point turning on the audio commentary, and yes, they do have it.
Nice.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
I've had those DVDs since they came out, and like you know, I haven't upgraded to the Blu-ray versions or anything like that. But like, I don't buy movies anymore. But these three movies I will always be in my possession. Like, I will never sell them, no matter. I feel like no matter what, like it's just an awesome keepsake to have
Mhm.
from when those movies came out. So, but yeah, the movie's okay, I guess. I don't know.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Um, I know
What's your
the
history?
I know the importance these movies hold, and
Oh,
I
I
know
just hate them.
I acknowledge the love that people have for these movies.
crazy take incoming. Hold on.
Yeah, for real.
I know how
He's trying
important
to
these. I know how important these movies are, and
he's
with
trying
that
to
being
ease us.
said, they're all
What
super gay.
what was
He's
that?
trying to very gently ease us into it. He's lubing it up right now.
What's that thing that
And
Cole did that one time?
Yeah, the mouth thing.
Um,
and Eddie Rent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
couldn't be bothered with these movies.
Really? Really? You
Oh,
didn't feel nothing? No shit.
Not my bag, dog. Not my
Really?
bag. Yeah, I don't know what it is about these movies. Whenever I watch them, I want them to be over so much faster than what I'm watching them.
I'm about to be Last of Us Cole right now.
Look, and that has nothing to do with the movie. Nothing. I know that these movies are iconic. I know that it is specifically a me thing, but watching these movies is excruciating to me.
Oh, I love it. I love
Oh.
that we have to watch all of these movies now.
Yeah.
Just twist the knife, why don't you?
I'm sorry. I love that y'all love it. But and I'm not gonna shit on it ever, but watching these movies is a chore for me.
Jesus.
I mean, it in and of itself, like no matter how much you love the movie, like it does have a semblance of a chore because they are super long. Like
Mhm.
I have a hard time sitting through super long movies. Like when I went and saw what was it? Oh my God, what's the Nolan movie about the atomic bomb?
Oh,
Oppenheimer.
yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Heisenberg. Yeah. um, like an hour left of that movie, and I was getting kind of antsy, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean I
um,
get it because like these movies, I mean it's all about the journey. And so because it's journey, you're gonna have some times in there where you're like, all right, well, not a lot's happening. Can we move on?
You know
I
that's
get it. I get it.
you know that scene in Clerks 2 where Randall is talking shit on Lord of the Rings. That's literally I That is the hardest I've ever laughed at a Clerks movie. um, I do to be like to tell you how little these movies mean to me. This is the first time
I
I've
think we
watched.
got it.
This is the first time I've
No, we get it. We
watched
get it. We get it.
and not fallen asleep.
Wow.
Let me ask you this, Eddie. Have you seen all of them at least once?
I've seen all of them
Okay.
at least once. Yes.
Okay.
And then
Just out of curiosity, how does Anastasia feel about them?
she don't care about him either. So
White people.
One
It's
last
white people stuff. It's
one last question. How do you live with yourself?
first of all, how dare you?
Second of all,
quite
okay.
comfortably, quite comfortably. No, I acknowledge that this is definitely a me thing because I do love fantasy movies and games and things like Shadow of Mordor. I'll play that shit all fucking day. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is about these movies that just makes me completely uninterested. And it like I said, it's an absolute me thing. So I'm sorry, but
No, that's totally fair, dude. I almost kind of share your sentiment, but first I want to hear what Fillmore. How did you grow up with Lord of the Rings?
So again, 2002, my cousin let me borrow his copy, but then he ended up giving me the same copy. And every time I watch these movies, I only watch the extended versions. Like I can't watch the theatrical because my first introduction was the extended version. And I tried reading the book when I was about 18, but I guess I was just too young to really fully understand what was being told.
that and
Maybe
fuck
I was.
books.
First of all, how dare you?
What's the deal with all these books?
Dude, that's
Why
what
don't we just burn them?
Yeah.
Why don't we just burn them all?
Fuck
But
books.
yeah. To be fair, I haven't read a book in a long time, but that's my fault. But yeah, I love these movies. I love the characters. I love the story. I love the epic journey that they all go on. I love the fact that they split apart but then come back together at various points. I like the brotherhood between Frodo and Sam. Some people call it a bromance, or even more than that. But interpret that as you will.
Those people.
But
fanfic.
What's that line that he delivers in Clerks 2 where he's like,
and then there's
Sam,
that gay
gives him the gayest look I've ever seen.
I mean, they made fun of that at MTV Movie Awards one time where they won an award for Lord of the Rings, and Sean Astin was like, "Elijah, please call me."
Well, I grew up with these movies. Which is so funny because like I specifically remember watching them all with my dad. Like my dad, and I remember thinking that my dad was like a huge Lord of the Rings fan. And so I was watching this first movie to get ready for the cast last weekend, and we had a thing up there at my dad's house that night. So I went up there and I was talking to him, and I was like, yeah, we're doing Lord of the Rings on the cast, and I watched that first one, and I was like, I really enjoyed watching it, and he's like, that's crazy. He's like, I was like, you don't like Lord of the Rings? And he's like, nah. I never really did.
My son's a fucking nerd.
He's like they're cool. They're cool movies, but like I just don't care. Like he doesn't, and he's not. And to be fair, he's not like a fucking massive nerd like like we are. But like it was weird to hear him like he used to love like old Star Wars too. Like not just like old, not just like the sequels, but the prequels too. Like
right,
very fond memories of going to the 2:00 in the morning showing of Revenge of the Sith with my dad and my one of my past family members.
That's going to be back in theaters, or it already is back in theaters.
I've been seeing. Yeah, I saw the one where Samuel L. Jackson and Hayden Christensen came out, and I'm like, damn, the glow up. The glow up for that dude is real.
Yeah, I watched that video last night actually.
Yeah, I fucking hated those movies. I really did. I despised them. And then we got the new movies, and I'm like, oh, I mistreated you. Oh, I mistreated you. Oh, George Lucas, come back, please, God, please come back. Fuck. But with the Lord of the Rings, I really kind of didn't really I have a deep nostalgia for this movie. I love this movie a lot. This one specifically, Two Towers and Return of the King are kind of shaky because I don't really remember them. But it was like watching this movie was like a warm blanket.
Mhm.
I was like, and I've become a little jaded and hard edged in my age. I'm an old, jaded man. So when I think about the Lord of the Rings,
Curmudgeon.
when I think about the Lord of the Rings, I really just kind of think of like, oh, it's just a smidge overrated. And I understand that is like that's a shitty thing to say, like almost like an inflammatory thing to say, just because they are, objectively, they are award-winning movies. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
and the quality is like on display, dude. My jaw legitimately dropped it like near the end of the movie when the I can't even fucking remember her name, but she's carrot Frodo's fucked up. He's almost dead from the shadow curse or whatever from
Yeah.
Arwen.
Arwen,
and
yeah.
the
No,
water, like the
Arwen.
water yeah, the water coming through the canyon. I'm like, God damn, 2001, this looks really good.
I will give you that. Like they hold up. They definitely
Yeah.
hold up.
They've got some cool, and not only that, but like the prosthetics, and not the prosthetics. I always use that fucking word. The props, like in the costuming and
The
like
practical
Mhm.
effects and
the
shit.
practical effects. Thank you, Eddie. That's what I was
The
looking for.
fake legs, the fake arms, they all look great.
I just think it's cool as fuck, man. Like, and there's like, and it does really look like you just threw money at fucking everything, and
Yeah. The
I
the scenery and the landscapes like are just so expansive and fucking gorgeous. Like,
you can do a lot. It's New Zealand, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Oh yeah, you can. There's so much beautiful scenery, and they make it work too.
Oh yeah.
They definitely use that as an advantage. And I was talking with the guys in a little bit of downtime, but like my main thing for Lord of the Rings is the PS2 games. Those fucking games rock,
Mhm.
dude. Actually, I just downloaded the Two Towers and Return of the King on an emulator. I'm gonna play that.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They're so
Hell yeah.
fun, man. They're like,
Dude, I watched what's it called? Um it's War of the Rohirrim, the
Oh,
animated Lord of the Rings movie on the plane ride down here.
yeah.
And that movie was really good. And I was very surprised to see that Brian Cox is one of the main voice actors in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like not typically a role you would see him in, but
yeah.
like it was really good. It takes place like 200 years before the Fellowship, I think, but I would highly suggest watching that one.
Okay, I gotta watch that one.
Yeah. I don't know. It's this one I have a little hard time being like objectively. I don't know if I could say that. I'll shit on the movie as much as I want. I just there is a very deeply embedded nostalgia for this one specifically. I know everyone goes crazy about the Two Towers and Return of the King, but Fellowship has this like really lightheartedness about it, especially in the first beginning,
Mhm.
and eventually gets to the point where it's like, okay, that's kind of like this current watch through that I just did, or this current viewing is just, it was more like I could see the paths that we're taking. It's like, okay, in the very beginning, we created the Fellowship halfway through the fucking movie, and then basically another movie happens on top of that where you're going with the Fellowship, and everything is great, and everything
Mhm.
is like, it seems like we have like an ironclad team, but then by the end of the movie, it's like, nah, that was way too hopeful. We can't, like with the way that they're like, oh, like with Boromir's like quote unquote betrayal and
Mhm.
everything. Like we came to the eventual head that was going to happen with the Fellowship, is that eventually someone was going to crumble and under the influence of the ring.
Yeah, that was
I
foreshadowed
just
a
like
lot.
I like that shit, and I like the way that it ends. I love Boromir's death. I actually kind of almost teared up a little bit. I was like, damn, dude, Scene Bean is acting his fucking ass off right
Scene Bean.
now.
Yeah,
Well,
dude.
he been seen.
That was definitely a very cool scene. I like that one too. I like I said, these movies are important, and there are moments where yeah, cool, So, but that yeah, Sean Bean's over there dying his best.
Well, yeah,
Look at
and
how they massacred my boy.
I do love that.
Boy.
I do love how many times throughout that, from when the Fellowship forms to the end of the movie, or basically the end of the movie when they part ways and everything. I do love how many different times they show, like, yeah, maybe somebody falters here and there, but they, correct themselves and get back on the path.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even Sean Bean, as he's dying, he's like, yo, I fucked up. That wasn't
Oh
cool.
man. The reason why I love that scene like so much and why it was like super emotional is like there's this unspoken and sometimes spoken in the movie like feud between Aragon or Aragon or
Boromir.
however the fuck you say it,
Yeah.
between him and Boromir, where it's like, oh, you're the piece of shit that stepped away from the crown and like are dodging your responsibility. And so Aragorn just like has to take all of this like criticism, like there's that scene with the broken sword that cut off the fingers where it's like it's not, and he like tosses the sword on the ground and he's like, it's nothing but a fucking broken heirloom or something, like he like really
Yeah.
super dismissive of this thing. And it's all because like he wanted to like, he wanted him to know like, you're a piece of shit, dude. Like you should be. And then to have him like, when he gives him his sword right when he's dying and he's like, my king. You know what I mean? Like he finally like came to this like realization where it's like, nah, dude, this guy
Well,
knows what he's doing.
because it was also, jealousy and rivalry. Like, here you are not wanting to be a part of this, and this is all I want, and like you're treating it like dirt. Like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that has to do with the way his father raised him or tried to instill on him. Like, we might get into it in the next movie, but his father was a main reason why he went to Rivendell in the first place because they heard rumors that they were talking about the One Ring. That's the reason why Boromir even showed up to find
Oh
out.
man,
And
I can't
yeah.
wait to get into the tomato eating scene. Like one of the most hated scenes in the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
In like what, Two Towers?
Yeah, right.
I think
Return of the King.
it's in Return of the King.
Oh, is it all the way? Wow,
Yeah.
a bad memory.
Yeah, I liked the hidden drama between like, we can't let the humans even go near the fucking ring
Yeah,
because of what happened with what's his name. And he
humans
even
are
told
so
him,
weak-willed.
well, yeah, and it's like he even told him, he's like, I would never step foot within 100 miles of your city. Like I want to make sure the ring gets nowhere fucking near your city, basically. Like I loved that little bit of human drama in there. It was really cool.
Yeah, dude, my Instagram name has been Beacon of Gondor for like as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
The beacon is lit. Gondor calls for aid. It's too
And
good.
Rohan will answer.
Yes.
Also, the what are they called? The Nazgul are some of the coolest fucking shit ever. Like, and
Yeah.
I know that they're like, it's super derivative of like other things, and I understand that, but like, goddamn, just watch like there's 9 of them, and they're all like when they all like pull up and their fucking drapes and their swords, I'm like, this is so fucking rad. And then the one part when they're like hiding from him, like they're underneath this like giant root, and he's like peeking
That's
over.
what I was just gonna mention. Yeah.
I love the shot of the horse's mouth and it's fucking putrid and rotten and it's like, that's so cool, dude. That's fucking rad. Who's y'all's favorite character?
Mary.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, my dumbass was like Mary, like Mary. I'm like,
Nah.
Mary.
Born of a took.
Gimli, because he's just a crotchety old bastard. He just fucking.
You would pick him.
And my axe.
Had the ears of a fox and the eyes of a hawk.
Yeah.
Oh. The dwarf breathed so loud we could have shot him in the dark.
Yeah, I like that. That was funny.
I don't know that I could pick. Like they're all so different. I like they're all my favorite for completely different ways.
Mhm.
So
They're like cogs in a machine.
yeah.
They all have
I would
purpose. They
say
all have reason.
being a young man when first seeing this and, wanting all that glory and amazing things happening, like maybe Aragorn, I guess, just because,
Mhm.
he's got that heroic thing and
For some reason, I thought that the scene where the wood elves find him, I thought that the thing that I cannot remember his name, but I always call him Fat Legolas. Um, the one elf that says that line. For some reason, I always thought in my head the line I thought was, "We could hear the fat one breathing a mile away." I'm like, that would have been so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of Legolas, I like him, and he has a lot more dialogue than I remember him having when I last watched it. I don't know if that's his extended version or that's just in general. But I know for one thing, he barely, if at all, interacts with Frodo.
Right. How do we feel about the theory that Frodo doesn't know Legolas's name?
Well, that one
Is
scene
this
for
a
Return of the
theory?
King.
He's never said his name.
No, dude,
No,
the "and my bow" is the only thing he says to him in the entire trilogy.
that's true.
That's so weird, dude.
And then at the end when he's in bed or whatever, at the end of Return of the King or whatever, and they all come in and he's like, "Sam,
Yeah.
Gandalf," and then Legolas comes in, he doesn't say anything. He
Who's
just
that
smiles.
guy?
He
Like,
just
oh, that guy.
smiles at him.
Hey, man.
That rocks.
hey, you, what's up?
Well,
How are you, buddy?
So Fillmore is a huge fan of these movies. How do you feel about those Hobbit movies?
I don't think they're as bad as people make them out to be, but I do understand why they're so, people are so
Divisive.
down on them. Like, yeah, very divisive. Because one thing, it was originally supposed to be two movies instead of three. They stretched it to three. Also, it's going to be directed by Guillermo del Toro, who dropped out. So Peter Jackson had to come in with his crew, but he didn't have as much time to prepare for those movies as he did with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So that's why they were CGI instead of practical effects like the Lord of the Rings movies were. So all the goblins, all the orcs, they were all CGI in the Hobbit trilogy when they were all practical for the most part in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I gotta be honest. I fall into Eddie's camp when it comes down to anything what's his name? The original Hobbit.
Bilbo.
Bilbo.
Like, yeah, I was gonna say,
Anything to do with Bilbo Baggins, get that motherfucker out of here. Get him out of here. I hate him. I fucking
Well,
hate him.
why?
And a whole adventure based on him sounds like a fucking awful time.
I mean, it is, but it isn't because you know they focus more on the dwarves and also what's happening behind the scenes with Sauron coming back. He's the necromancer in that trilogy,
Mm.
and Gandalf fights him at the end of that trilogy.
So there's
Then
like, okay.
they allude to Saruman getting corrupted by Sauron.
Mhm.
That's why he's so evil in this movie.
Yeah. So and I can't even remember. So 2001, I would have been 7 years old. So and I do remember watching.
Jesus Christ.
I remember when these movies came out, and I didn't watch them in theaters. I don't think I was old enough for that. It probably would have scared the shit out of me. But we definitely had the DVDs and Fellowship. Fuck, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Damn. All that build up for nothing.
Poof, gone.
Yeah, I feel let down.
What were we talking about before? Fuck, help me. Help
We were
me.
talking about the Hobbit.
I'm drowning.
We were talking about the Hobbit before, and then
We're talking about Bilbo.
Just Bilbo just fucking sucks, dude. I hate like he has like this selfishness about him where it's like I can't fucking and Frodo is like much better.
Yeah,
of,
but like it
But
makes
he's an
sense to
integral
me
part
though.
of the
Like
story.
it makes sense to me though because he's had the ring. He's been
Yeah.
holding on to it for so many years. Like
Yeah, he's just Smeagol
That's what it
2.0.
creates in you, is this greed and self-interest, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it gave him a long, unnatural life to where, when he parted with the ring, it was difficult for him, like it is for anyone who has a ring, like, Gollum, for instance. It took Gandalf to have him put the ring down and go on his journey. The next time we see Bilbo, he looks a lot older.
yeah,
Yeah, and actually, that's a good point too, is Smeagol going from, a river person to, over the massively long time that he had that ring, being corrupted into Gollum. Like that eventually would have happened to Bilbo too, like,
yeah.
or something similar. And so like it just slowly over time is corrupting you more and more and more.
So I guess in this way, I remember what I was going to say. I was 7 years old when it came out, and I remember thinking that Saruman. I had a hard time distinguishing between Sauron and
Yeah,
Saruman,
same.
and I remember thinking like, oh, this guy is like when Gandalf goes to see him first. As a kid, I remember thinking like, oh, this guy's evil, like off the rip, like obvious. What do you mean? What do you mean
Yeah,
this
isn't this
guy's
the
on
bad guy?
this guy's on our fucking side. This guy, I wouldn't trust this guy as far as I could throw him. Like
Right.
I don't trust this. I don't trust like that.
I don't trust like that.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I mean, just his voice, like he
yeah.
just has such a
Oh, bro.
like
No, they
I
rock.
mean, that's just Christopher Lee.
he
Yeah.
just has such a villain voice. Like he's just amazing.
He
No,
was a
he.
villain in Gremlins too.
Uh, I guess my only way of explaining like why I don't like the Hobbit movies is they just provide answers for things that were cool left being obscure. You know what I mean? Like Derek, what you were talking about with Smeagol, with Gollum, where it's like there's this whole passage of time where he
Mhm.
becomes what he becomes, and that's what we were going to see with the other fucking Baggins guy, Bilbo, and so it's like there's, but like I feel like we get more answers out of those Hobbit movies,
Right.
and so and again,
Well,
Takes away the
they
takes away
don't
the
they don't
mystery and
they don't really leave up to the imagination because the Hobbit was a book to begin with,
of course,
like
Yeah,
of
all
course.
the
very
answers
short.
are in that book.
yeah, Cole.
And it's well, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's me living in ignorance. It's me living in like I don't want to know these answers because it's cool enough not knowing. Like it would be cool, like for example, the 20 years that we don't know Joel, you could
Mm.
just like run wild with like, oh, because he was like a piece of shit. So you can
Mhm.
imagine, and we have like a solid amount of time with this character to know more or less the basis of the character. So you can go through and like you can imagine like the shit that they did. And of course that's like a universal problem that like every piece of media storytelling literature, like the more you unveil things, the less it becomes like interesting. You know what I mean? And it's really not even a criticism at all. It's just like I'm perfectly fine living in my own little world where uh
You
the
get to
fellowship
wonder.
and to the two towers and Return of the King. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
just I have like had no desire to go sit through. And I'll leave it with this, where it's like my biggest criticism of these movies is that they're just too fucking long, bro. Like I know
That yeah.
I know y'all like to nerd out with the extended editions and everything. And in certain situations, I'm right there with you. Fillmore, the complete edition of Advent Children is the only fucking way to watch that movie.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
like it is the director's cut of that movie where Nomura went in and he added a whole bunch of shit that really makes that story shine. I am sure that is what happens in the extended editions of these movies. However, I can't be fucking bothered. I can't be, dude. These movies are too fucking long. The
No,
original movies are too
no,
fucking long as it is.
I sympathize. I sympathize because when I saw Return of the King in the theater, I'm like, I'm loving this movie, but I need to go to the restroom. It's too damn long. Like, how many endings to that movie does he have?
Yeah, of
But
course.
Sounds
then,
like a skill issue.
Yeah.
And I'm
but
not
then,
even expecting like anything crazy. I'm just expecting some some sign that there is an existence of an editing room, right?
No, there was
Right.
because like so when Return of the King won all those Oscars, they were still filming on that movie
Yeah,
for the extended version that released like a year later.
that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I I'm doing it. I'm doing it for you. But like
I appreciate that.
like after this, man, like I went into my iTunes account because I was like, I do remember buying them. Like I have all three movies, but I don't have the extended editions. So I had to go on HBO. And I'm like, well, thank God I'm still fucking paying for HBO.
Yeah, I'm
You
similar
know,
to Nick, where I
oh,
have
God.
the extended DVDs. Since I got that first one from my cousin, so I
Yeah.
made it my business to get the extended versions of Two Towers and Return of the King after that.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
eventually I gave those away to a friend and upgraded to the Blu-ray. And eventually I'm probably going to give that away to a friend so I can get the 4K versions.
How much are
Yeah.
they?
Um, so the 4K versions are around 80 each, I want to say, for the trilogy, not for
Oh,
each individual movie.
I was gonna
Oh,
say.
okay. Jesus
Oh boy.
Christ, Fillmore. Oh,
No.
fuck.
I love physical media, but not to that degree.
God damn. Yeah, that I mean, like, but the thing is, though, is I totally fucking believed you. I totally fucking believed you that there is a 4K package of these movies that costs like $80 each. I don't know, because there's so much shit that you can put into like a release of one of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like, yeah, we could very easily, I don't know, $80 might be a little dramatic, but like, but still, though, like, that's, there's a lot of like behind the scenes and shit. Lord of the Rings people go fucking buku crazy.
Bananas, bro.
Yeah, like they love like, and that's why like if I went into a room full of like diehard Lord of the Rings fans and I said what I said about the extended editions, they'd laugh me out of the room because I'm sure they add so much like extra shit. And
Yes.
I probably would be part of that crowd if I was in the know. But
Well, we already did laugh at you and Eddie. So
Yeah, true. Like the only problem that I have with this movie, in terms of, well, I mean, really anything, but particularly like the effects, the Urukai, especially like right at the beginning when they're, born or hatched or whatever, they look a little like uncomfortably stiff. Like,
Mm.
Yeah.
they're
you know,
being deep fried, Derek. They're deep fried elves, bro. What about that is supposed to be comfortable?
I'm just saying they look like dudes in restrictive suits that
Oh yeah.
can't move well.
I love the theme. I love the fucking the I don't would you call it the Mordor theme or would you call it the orc theme where it's like Banama.
Bop, bop.
Dun.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
dude, the music is fucking
Yeah, that
fire.
shit that shit
Mhm.
hits,
All
bro.
all
That's
of the music is so fucking fire.
Yeah, like halfway through the movie when the Fellowship is formed and they go off on their journey and the da 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 da
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
da
Oh
da da da
yeah.
da.
or the
It's just so fucking
dun the
epic.
one that's like dun. Like
Hmm.
I saw a girl playing that on a harp on Instagram, and I
Oh, nice.
I almost fell to the floor. I was like,
Yeah,
dude,
I fucked her.
yeah,
I'm about to say because of the music or because of the girl.
both.
Pick
Oh
one.
well.
Like it was such a cool rendition of that
That's way
song.
cool.
So now we come to the part of the episode where we just talk a little trivia about the movie. Um, we thank IMDb for giving us all these little tidbits, but yeah, I'll start. Um, Sir Christopher Lee, who played Saruman, read The Lord of the Rings once a year until his death in 2015, and had done so since the year it was published. He was also the only member of the cast and crew to ever to have met J.R.R. Tolkien.
What when did he die? When did Tolkien die?
Mm.
Was that like a 70s thing?
No, because if not, he wouldn't have met him before he died.
Hold up.
1973.
Damn.
September
Oh,
2nd.
What's
Yeah,
the 70s
because
thing?
Holy
Christopher
fuck, I
Lee is
was
old as
right.
hell.
Yeah.
When was the book made? In the 50s?
I mean, it was. I think so. Let's see.
Oh, like the 30s.
Holy fuck, this thing is old as shit.
Oh
No
yeah.
wonder it. No wonder it's so fucking. This is one thing. Other thing that I noticed
Between 1937 and 1949.
Well, that's when it was written. It was actually out in 1954. The Fellowship of the Ring came out in 54.
I can sit there and I can't think of any off the top of my head because it was last weekend, but there are several instances where I was Leo DiCaprio in that one movie where I was like, you know, there are so many things where it's like, dude, that's straight up inspired like this and this and this and this, and it's like, holy fuck, the Lord of the Rings really did inspire like a shit ton of stuff, including stuff that I really love, like Final Fantasy and stuff like that. Like it's crazy how it branched out like that. Director Sir Peter Jackson, fuck off. Is he really?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't put it in there if he wasn't.
Well, you know how people lie. Do you believe everything on the internet?
Yeah, I do.
Don't
Director
believe
Sir.
Don't believe anything you see on the internet. That's a direct quote from Abraham Lincoln, okay?
Look, the only part of the internet that I trust is IMDb.
The only one. Sir Director Peter Jackson gave one of the rings used in the movie to Elijah Wood and Andy Serkis as a gift when the shoot was finished. They both thought that they had the only one, but both of them were deceived.
One ring given to the Hobbit. A second ring given to the creature Gollum.
Gandalf's painful encounter with a ceiling beam in Bilbo's Hobbit hole was not in the script. Sir Ian McKellen banged his forehead against the beam accidentally. Sir Peter Jackson thought McKellen did a great job acting through the mistake and kept it in.
Dude, there's so many of those in this first movie too. Like,
yeah,
so many just things that were unscripted that they just left in.
That reminds me of Star Wars when the stormtrooper hits the beam with his head. Anyway,
like when Gimli falls down the hill, like that wasn't supposed to happen. He just actually fell.
That's hilarious.
Or when Aragorn kicks the helmet and like screams, like he actually broke his toe.
Yeah.
I think I remember that. All right, I'll go next. The cast often had to fly to remote shoot locations by helicopter. Sean Bean was afraid of flying and would only do it when absolutely necessary. Well, yeah, because he dies all the time. Like, why wouldn't you be afraid? When they were shooting the scenes of the Fellowship crossing the snowy mountains, he'd spend 2 hours every morning climbing from the base of the mountain to the set near the top, already dressed as Boromir.
What a baby!
The crew, as they were flown up, could see him from their helicopters.
Holy, could you imagine, dog, just getting through a helicopter, Sean Bean's on the side of the mountain, just fucking scaling the shit out of it?
And Cole says, "What a baby," and he's climbing the mountain, dude.
Well, yeah, I can just see him climb and go, "Pussies!"
Well, I mean, imagine being scared of being in a helicopter, but not being scared of climbing a fucking mountain. That's really weird.
I mean, I get it. Like, there's a difference. Like, you could totally mentally make that jump. You totally could, because you're still on an expanse of Earth as opposed to flying in midair. Like, people's brains do weird things. Like, there are very weird points where they're like, this is okay, this completely isn't, even though they're not logistically that different at all.
Right.
Brains are funny, man. You can stare all you like.
He's a baby.
But brains do funny things.
He's a
brains.
baby.
Brains are funny.
He was climbing.
Brain funny.
Climbing.
Brains be braining.
That's so weird to me. I don't know. I imagine being him, like climbing up the mountain, and a helicopter passes by, and they're like, just pointing and laughing at him.
He looks up and goes, "That shit's for babies."
That shit for
Right.
babies.
You have
Nick,
to climb up the mountain, tire yourself out, then act out a scene. How many takes? I don't know.
right?
See, that's what I'd be more interested in is like, okay, man, first of
Dressed
all,
as Boromir too.
if
Right,
he's doing
yeah.
this daily in his full gear, like that dude must have some stamina.
Right.
And if he
Did he
didn't,
climb
he
with a
does
shield?
now.
All right. During filming, most of the members of the Fellowship took up surfing in New Zealand in their spare time. Amongst them was Viggo Mortensen, who played Aragorn, who wiped out terribly one day and bruised one whole side of his face. The next day, makeup artists tried to mask the bruising and swelling, but were unsuccessful. Instead, Sir Peter Jackson opted to film Mortensen from one side for the entire scene. In the Mines of Moria, when they find the tomb, Aragorn is only seen from one side through the whole scene.
That's
Damn.
hilarious.
Despite playing a dwarf, John Rhys Davies is the tallest of the actors who play members of the Fellowship. He is 6'1".
Such a nice dude.
Great
Yep.
guy. Yeah.
You seems like he'll be nice.
Yeah, Eddie and I met him at Comic-Con one year, and he
Yeah.
was like the kindest person.
Yeah, he even offered. We're like, "Oh man, you're the cool." We just wanted to tell him like he was cool, and he was like, "All right, you guys want to take a picture of that?" And
Well, and it was, yeah, and that was like at the very end. Was it the end of the last day?
it was the end of the last day. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the end of the last day. Like motherfuckers are tearing down and leaving. Like, and he was done with his booth. He was walking off, presumably go get in a hotel room or grab a flight or whatever. Like he was done.
Yeah, he was
And
ready to go.
we just saw him walking and approached him, and he was like so nice and just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's take a picture.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
how David Delarocco was when me and my friend met him. We just went up to talk to him, and he just was like, "You guys both want a picture?" And we're just like, "Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
obviously."
I'm really sad I didn't have like my hair and do my Rocco cosplay that year.
Oh yeah.
I should have did the same with Sean Astin. He was at this previous Comic Con. He had a booth and everything, and I just saw him from afar. Like, I should go at least say hi. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well as being the only member of the cast and crew to have met J.R.R. Tolkien face to face, Sir Christopher Lee was also the first person to be cast in the trilogy because of his extensive knowledge of the books. He frequently visited the makeup department and often gave tips about the facial design of the monsters. What a fucking dweeb.
Half the time they were like, oh God, here comes Christopher Lee again.
I
Hey,
remember
you put some respect on that man's name, dude. That man released a
What
metal
are we doing
Christmas
wrong
album.
now?
I remember he wanted to be Gandalf, and he was so upset that he wasn't cast as Gandalf. But then he was happy after he saw the finished film.
Yeah.
Originally, the narration at the prologue was to be spoken by Elijah Wood, but it was felt that the information imparted had little bearing on the character of Frodo. Sir Ian McKellen also recorded a narration, but once again, it was felt that Gandalf wasn't the right character to speak it. Neither he nor Frodo were present at the events described in the prologue. They eventually settled on Kate Blanchett as Galadriel, as it emphasized the timelessness of the elves.
Yeah, and that's just always made sense to me. Like
hmm
like the elves, they kind of seem like chroniclers of
Mm-hmm.
everything that's going on, But anyway.
Yeah,
Viggo
because they
Mortensen.
lived. I'm sorry,
Oh, go
that's
ahead.
because they
No, no.
lived so long.
Yeah, exactly. Like who else would be the ones out there collecting and keeping and disseminating the stories? Like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all right, Viggo Mortensen kept his sword with him at all times offset so that he could remain in character. He was questioned several times by police after reviewing his training sessions with the sword and being spotted by members of the public. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Especially because, like, you know how he looks all raggedy. They're like, what the fuck
Right.
is this weird raggedy doing with a
Fuck
sword?
is this hobo doing with a sword?
Tinfoil, we got a homeless person out here with a sword.
Yeah.
Probably on drugs.
Probably all naked up on drugs.
Naked on drugs.
When Pippin is being hit with the apples after asking about second breakfast, it is Viggo Mortensen chucking the apple at his head. They had to shoot the scene 16 times to get it just right. And Billy Boyd says he believes Mortensen enjoyed himself immensely.
Bitch. For high-tech tasks, a computer program called Massive made armies of CGI orcs, elves, and humans. These digital creations would think and battle independently, identifying friend or foe, thanks to individual fields of vision. Director Sir Peter Jackson's team could click on one creature in a crowd scene of 20,000 and see through his eyes. Different species even boast unique fighting styles. That's pretty fucking rad.
The Elvish language lines spoken in this movie are not just quotes from the books. They were derived from J.R.R. Tolkien's own limited dictionary of that language. Dialect coach Andrew Jack used recordings of Tolkien reading his books to guide the actors and actresses' pronunciations.
That's rad.
Yeah, because speaking that Elvish language had to be something, like they were so believable, even though you don't exactly know what they're saying unless you have subtitles.
Yeah.
Like Liv Tyler, Viggo Mortensen, Orlando Bloom, Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith himself.
Yeah.
Not Lord of the Rings topic wise, but did you know that you can learn High Valyrian on Duolingo?
Yeah, I did know that.
And I tried it. It's way too hard, dude. Like, so hard.
Viggo Mortensen did his own stunts. He also insisted on using only the real steel sword instead of a significantly lighter aluminum sword, or safer rubber sword, which were manufactured for battle scenes and stunts.
This is kind of adorable. Viggo Mortensen purchased Arwen's horse after production and gave it to Liv Tyler's riding double, Jane Abbott.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
He purchased several horses on the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the one he rides, Brago, I know he bought that horse after the trilogy was done filming.
Orlando Bloom landed the role of Legolas 2 days before he finished drama school.
Damn.
Right?
Does that mean I graduate? Did I win?
Did I do it? That
Did I do a good job?
That motherfucker just came out of the school getting money.
So this is his first movie?
I don't know.
Dude, that's like Kobe going to the NBA right after high school.
Veteran swordmaster Bob Anderson called Viggo Mortensen, quote, the best swordsman I've ever trained.
The entire trilogy was filmed simultaneously, making it the first back-to-back-to-back production in Hollywood history. The shoot lasted 438 days over 14 months.
Good.
Fucking
God.
wild.
Yeah. That is something I wanted to talk about. Like the fact that this was greenlit. But if you consider who greenlit it, it was the Weinstein brothers.
Oh.
Hell yeah. Harvey himself.
Yeah. But it's the fact that, so you think about the Kill Bill duology, they were hesitant to release that as one movie because it would have been too long. So they split it into two. But they greenlit all three of these movies back to back, as well as the extended versions.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Viggo Mortensen, who is trilingual in English, Spanish, and Danish, requested the script be revised to let Aragorn speak more of his lines in Elvish. I mean, when you're seeing partners Liv Tyler, why not? By the way, she can get it.
Yeah, I mean, Aragorn's just trying to holla.
Yeah. Any day of the week. But only if she wants to. Because we at the Nerd Corporation are Pro
Pro
consent.
Consent.
Pro consent.
It's the
My
it's
li-
the it's the lag. It's the internet lag.
That's okay. I don't care. My life is complete after that.
No, it's the lag. I didn't specifically wait to do that.
Let's see. Oh,
that one was for you, Filmore.
Thank you so much.
all right. It's let's see. Here we go. When the dragon firework goes off at the party, the shriek heard is Billy Boyd actually screaming, as he was unaware at the time that the firework was really going to explode on set. He thought that would be a separate shot. So like he thought it was just going to go up there and do nothing, and then they were going to do a separate. So it was not scripted, but the take ended up in the final cut.
That's
So that's
great.
another one of those, unscripted moments that they kept.
That's awesome.
Which I think that's perfect, because I mean, why wouldn't you want that in there? Like,
right.
it makes perfect sense that he would be startled. But
Yeah. Viggo Mortensen joined the movie when it was already shooting, never having met director Sir Peter Jackson before, nor indeed having read the J.R.R. Tolkien book. It was Mortensen's 11-year-old son, Henry Mortensen, a fan of the book, who was the chief investigator.
His 11-year-old son is an investigator, yeah.
Chief instigator in convincing Mortensen to sign on as Aragorn.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they had already started filming and they had someone else's Aragorn before they scrapped it and brought in Viggo Mortensen.
You know who, by chance?
I think it was one of the actors from Underworld.
Oh.
No, it was actually Stuart Townsend.
Oh.
Chris Pratt.
He's so cool
was,
right now.
So cool.
This was before the Chris Pratt craze. He's so in right now.
He's so hot right now.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, he's so hot right now.
It is estimated that filming of the trilogy pumped about $200 million into the New Zealand economy. The New Zealand government even created a minister for Lord of the Rings whose remit was to exploit all the economic opportunities the movies represented.
Bro, imagine being the minister of the Lord of the Rings. Like,
right?
That's how you know you made it.
Liv Tyler accidentally stabbed herself in the right thigh when filming the "If You Want Him, Come and Claim Him" sequence. The footage was featured in bloopers and outtakes of this movie.
That's crazy.
Ouch.
That's one of her like best scenes too, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that just
any movie.
like heightened emotion where she's just like,
Can I get a vibe check on Liv Tyler? Do we think she's hot?
Oh yeah.
Yes. I mean, I literally
Did
just
you
said
not-
she could get it.
yeah, dude. Thanks for
We
listening.
did a whole thing about it. Yeah.
I mean,
I
come
thought
on.
we were talking about the other one. Sorry, my bad. But
I mean, if you go to Liv Tyler in Armageddon, absolutely.
The other Liv Tyler.
so I can't.
Or Empire Records, Liv Tyler.
I have the biggest fear that I would be like mid pump and I would see Steven and I just would be I'd be out forever, dude. That big ass mouth, it's there.
Oh my god.
Well, they don't look anything alike, so I don't think I would have that problem.
Yeah, neither would I.
I would just be thinking of Arwen the whole time.
Why did he
I mean,
play?
as long as she wasn't wearing a bunch of scarves, like, I think
Right.
you're good.
Before production began, it had to be determined whether computer effects could conventionally create battle scenes featuring thousands of warriors. So Peter Jackson invested his own money in the pursuit of his software using the computers of his special effects company, Weta Digital Limited, that had been purchased to make his previous movie, The Frighteners.
Hell yeah. That's one of my favorite movies too, The Frighteners.
Dude, Frighteners is so good.
I don't know if I've seen all of that movie. I remember bits and pieces, but I don't know if I ever completed
It's a
it.
great fucking movie.
I think I need to go back and watch that again. After the New Zealand premiere, director Sir Peter Jackson joined the actors who played the 9 members of the Fellowship by getting a commemorative tattoo of his own. While their tattoos were the Elvish symbol for 9, obviously, Jackson received an Elvish 10 because he's like, I'm better than you.
Just that's a thing in certain movie franchises now. Like for instance, the original 6 Avengers each got a tattoo to commemorate their time being Avengers.
That's dope.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool thing. That's just a fun, cool thing for people. I mean, especially, this is maybe a little even more so than normal since they filmed all 3 back to back. But I mean, like you're with each other constantly. Like you go through this whole thing of creating movies. Like, why wouldn't you want like a cool little commemoration of that?
Right.
Um, Bilbo Baggins' birthday cake has 111 candles on it, and they eventually set fire to the polystyrene cake.
That's awesome. Orlando Bloom did most of his own stunts and broke a rib in the process.
Mm.
When was it that I wonder, do you know what Fillmore when he broke the rib?
This one.
Um,
Or I feel
I
like I
don't.
remember hearing about it, but I don't remember what scene it was.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah. Oh well.
It was in the Two Towers in a scene where he was supposed to be riding a horse with Gimli behind him. He fell off the horse, and
Mm.
Gimli's the double of Gimli fell on top of him.
Well,
God damn.
Yeah,
jeez.
The hobbits needed to appear about 3 to 4 feet tall, tiny compared to the 7-foot Gandalf. This was often accomplished by using forced perspective, placing Sir Ian McKellen consistently closer to the camera than Elijah Wood in order to trick the eye into thinking that McKellen is towering. In some cases, the camera would be moving, something that would normally break the effect. So special props and sets were designed to maintain the illusion in camera.
Huh.
And I that was one thing I did think as well when I was watching the movie. I was like, damn, they really they kind of nail the aspect of like, yeah, these are like tiny people, but they're not in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did a ton of that in Elf as well, like use
Yeah.
forced perspective, like
Mm-hmm.
which is so wild that that works so well because just thinking about it, you're like, oh come on, that can't possibly work that good.
Yeah, and it did.
Mm. Yeah, it worked so well that when they were filming The Hobbit and they reverted to green screen, it made Ian McKellen cry during the scene because he just couldn't wrap his head around it. It was so
Yeah.
tough for
Yeah.
him. The 2 most renowned Tolkien artists are Alan Lee and John Howe. And so it was important to Sir Peter Jackson to have those 2 on board. Lee was tracked down to a tiny little village in Dartmoor, England, and was FedExed a package of Jackson's heavenly creatures, a letter outlining his intention. They monitored the process of the FedEx package every step of the way, but were somewhat surprised when Lee rang them only 3 hours after delivery to say he'd love to work with them. Howe, meanwhile, was living in Switzerland, and because someone hadn't worked out the time differences between Switzerland and New Zealand correctly, he was called at about 2 a.m. He says that the biggest frustration with that phone call was waiting for Jackson to finish this pitch before he could say yes.
Aw,
Mm-hmm.
that's adorable. Would you just shut up so I can agree to do this already? All right. So while the rest of the fellowship struggled through snowdrifts, Legolas walked on top of the snow. This is in line with the information given in the novel, where elves are so light on their feet that they are able to walk on top of the snow. I'm curious as to how they accomplished that, though.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
I saw that.
I love that scene. Like when I watched it
Yeah,
last week, I'm like, yeah, he just walking on top like it's no big deal.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I've always wondered how they did that, but
Like
it's
elves are the genetically enhanced being of this world.
Right.
well, yes, but the movie effects. But apparently, I don't get to know because the trivia did not include that.
Ah,
The bastards.
I'm just trying. Oh, here we go. Okay. Viggo Mortensen chipped a tooth while filming a fight sequence. He wanted Sir Peter Jackson to superglue it back so he could finish the scene, but Jackson took him to the dentist on his lunch break, had it patched up, and returned to the set that afternoon.
What a gangster. That's some gangster ass shit, if you ask me.
I mean, that's really funny,
14 dislikes on that.
though. That's really funny of Vigo, though, because that sounds like a parent and child. No, no, Dad, just super glue it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And the dad's like, no, we're going to the hospital.
Yeah. That concludes our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments. As always, you can follow us on social media.
On Facebook, the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Instagram and Blue Sky at Nerdcourt Podcast.
Or you can find us on TikTok at Nerdcourt Podcast.
And since you're watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that little bell icon. We want to get into as many nerdy ears as possible, and that is the best way and the freest way to help us do that. If you love us and want to support what we do, consider supporting us on PayPal, paypal.me/nerdcorp podcast. We want to have the best loot, give you the best giveaways, and give you the best nerdy experience, and that is the best way to help us do that. So, thank you, Filmore, for joining us. Catch us next week as we all do part 2, The Two Towers. But from all of us here at Nerd Corporation, we thank you. We love you. Keep it nerdy, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Wakanda forever.